Welcome to On the Other Hand. Have you heard the idea that right-wing extremism is more dangerous than left-wing extremism, or that right-wing extremists are more violent than left-wing extremists? When I hear claims like this, they're usually referring to the Murder and Extremism report produced by the Anti-Defamation League every year. This one for 2021 just came out, so I wanted to take a look and possibly give you some insight into the report. The report starts out in summary saying, quote, "Most of the murders, 26 of 29, were committed by right-wing extremists, which is usually the case. However, 2 killings were committed by black nationalists and 1 by an Islamist extremist, the latter being the first such killing since 2018. Close quote. Thankfully, the report outlines each of the counted incidents by name and date, so we can go through and review them. The report does specify that it only tracks actual homicides. Attempted homicides, even by the most extreme person, won't get a mention here. But anyway, let's go look at the specific instances of homicide to see if anything sticks out. The first person killed 5 other people, and the extremism that got him on this list is being a part of the manosphere, and he apparently published 3 novels detailing these extremist views. So let's dig into this a bit. First, I find it interesting that a political ideology, that of being right-wing, is attached to the manosphere. It could be that the manosphere is correlated with a quote-unquote right-wing, but to definitely put this guy in the right-wing camp, one would think they would have some definitive right-wing quote from him, or one of his 3 novels that would apparently expound on the reason for killing these people. There's also an interesting chicken and egg problem I see with craziness and extremism. Do crazy people flock to extremist positions, or do extremist positions push people to do crazy things? Probably both, and I don't know how to make the distinction between the two from an outside perspective. But I would like to point out that in this instance, they don't explicitly say the people were killed as a direct result of his views, but it is heavily applied. So for this particular guy, were his crimes a direct result of the ideology ascribed to him? Or was he crazy, and the ideology is just a manifestation of that craziness? I don't know the answer to that question, but it seems clear the report blames the crimes on the ideology, and directly puts that ideology definitively in the right-wing group. The next person on the list shot and killed a deputy while being removed from a residence at the request of the homeowners. Again, this one is both implied and assigned as right-wing, and that the homicide was a direct result of the ideology. Both potentially valid assumptions, but assumptions nonetheless. The next one killed his wife in what seems to be explicitly a domestic incident unrelated to his anti-government views. It is only included because after the homicide, the ADL found a connection to an extremist view in their opinion. Not that the extremist view had anything to do with the incident, but the ADL found a connection. The next one is a gang killing from someone deemed to belong to a racist gang. It even says the police haven't offered a motive, just that someone who committed a homicide had a connection to extremism. I'm noticing a pattern that people seem to use this report as definitive proof of a talking point, but the actual report specifics seem rather vague. The next guy killed a friend of his mother, then his brother, and then his brother's wife. And he reportedly, aka they don't actually know this for sure, did so because he thought the COVID shot was poisonous. And remember, the ADL puts this one squarely to blame on the right wing, not into an unknown or independent category. This guy was definitely right wing in their eyes. The unquestionable categorization seems to be more telling than the actual incident here. The next person killed a Lyft driver, stole their car, and tried to shoot up a police station. According to the FBI, he may have been inspired by foreign terrorists. You get the idea. I'm not going to read through all of these because it would be repetitive questions and comments after each one, and it would just be depressing. Now, if you notice these incidents were listed by date. Do you know what happened on November 21st of 2021, a date not listed in this report? The homicides in the Christmas Waukesha parade. The guy who did it had made black nationalist social media posts, like this one with the title, "Hitler knew who the real Jews were," because supposedly Hitler killed the false Jews, and black people are the real Jews. Or this one, showing what is apparently white people being enslaved and picking cotton, while a black guy whips them and Martin Luther King Jr. looks on and smiles from the sky. So why did the Waukesha driver not get mentioned? You can't say it was because he was just in the local news story, and you can't say it was because there wasn't a good enough connection to extremist ideas. The ADL report has listed others for just as little connection to extremist ideas, and even included them when the extremism wasn't the motivation for the murders in question. The guy killed 6 people indiscriminately, was on national news, and continued to drive through the crowd, injuring dozens of others in a Christmas parade, all with clear extremist red flags on social media posts. So, what do I make of the ADL report detailing the ratio of left to right-wing extremism murders? I think it's a blatantly biased organization producing a blatantly biased report. Now, it's quite possible the right-wing extremism is responsible for more homicides than left-wing extremism. But I have no confidence in the ADL's data and conclusions based on this obvious omission and all of the tenuous inclusions. It's a poor scorekeeper who can't win, and the ADL is pretty clearly trying to play scorekeeper with this report. As always, thanks, hope you enjoyed, and if you did, consider subscribing or joining me on Odyssey, a great YouTube alternative. Link is in the description.